Deep within the sparkling currents of Willow Creek lived a small, shimmering silverfish named Finn, while his brothers and sisters darted after tasty insects near the surface or played hide-and-seek among the smooth river stones. Finn found himself utterly captivated by the towering willow trees lining the banks. He would hover near the surface for hours, his tiny fins barely moving, gazing up at the intricate patterns of branches silhouetted against the sky, watching sunlight dance through the leaves and listening to the rustling whispers that seemed to carry secrets only the wind and the tree could understand. A deep, impossible yearning filled his little heart, a yearning stronger than any hunger for flies. Finn desperately wanted to climb a tree. He dreamed of feeling rough bark beneath his non-existent claws, of seeing the world from that dizzying height, of touching the very leaves that cast dancing shadows onto his watery home one bright morning. As a shaft of sunlight pierced the clear water, illuminating the muddy bank beneath a particularly grand willow, Finn saw his chance. The recent rain had caused the creek to swell slightly, leaving the bank slick and steep right beneath the tree. With a burst of determination that surprised even himself, Finn swam towards the shallows, pushing his body further than any sensible fish dared. He nudged his nose against the wet, dark earth, summoning every ounce of strength in his tail. He gave an enormous flick. For one astonishing, heart-stopping moment, he surged forward, his sleek body momentarily leaving the water, landing with a soft plop onto the cool, yielding mud. He was out. He lay gasping, the strange air feeling thin and startling in his gills, the mud cool and alien against his scales. He could smell the tree, the damp earth, the greenness of the leaves above. Triumph surged through him. Fierce and bright, he had touched the land. But triumph quickly turned to terror. The mud, so cool at first, began to feel sticky and heavy. Every desperate wriggle to inch forward towards the base of the willow only seemed to sink him deeper. His gills screamed for water, burning with each shallow, painful breath of air. Panic seized him as his silvery scales became coated in thick, dark sludge, weighing him down. The towering tree, his magnificent dream, now seemed impossibly distant, a cruel giant looking down on his foolish struggle. He was stranded, utterly helpless, the familiar world of liquid safety shimmering just inches away, yet impossibly far. Fear, cold and sharp, replaced the warmth of his earlier hope. He could feel his strength ebbing away with each suffocating gasp from the water. A chorus of worried bubbles erupted. Finn's school had followed, keeping a cautious distance. Finn, "Stop this madness," called his sister Sylvia, her voice tight with fear. "Come back. You belong here." Others chimed in, their voices a mixture of concern and bewildered judgment. "Look at him, covered in muck," scoffed Barry, a plump minnow. "Why waste time dreaming of trees when there are perfectly good water weeds to explore? It's embarrassing." Their words, though meant to call him back to safety, felt like tiny barbs, pricking his fading courage. Even in his distress, a flicker of defiance remained. They didn't understand the pull of the branches, the song of the wind in the leaves, but their fear was real, and it mirrored his own growing despair as he felt the mud tightening its grip. Just when Finn thought the mud would claim him completely, a slow, deliberate shadow fell over him. Old Man Terrapin, the ancient river turtle known for his deep thoughts and slow movements, had hauled his heavy shell onto the bank nearby. He observed Finn's struggle with calm, dark eyes that held the wisdom of countless seasons. "Little dreamer," Terrapin rumbled, his voice like stones grinding softly together. "The mud holds you fast, does it not? The air bites your gills." Finn could only manage a weak, gasping flick of his tail. "I see the fire in your eyes. Even now," Terrapin continued, "but perhaps, young Finn, your strength lies not in conquering the bark, but in understanding the root." "Look closer." He nudged his head towards the water's edge near the willow. "See where the water kisses the land? See where the tree drinks?" Terrapin's words, though cryptic, cut through Finn's panic, fighting the suffocating weight. Finn tilted his head, his blurred vision focused on where Terrapin indicated the willow's roots. They plunged into the creek, massive, gnarled fingers of wood disappearing into his own watery world. They were tangled, powerful. Draped with swaying green water plants, they formed dark caves and swirling eddies where the creek embraced the tree. It wasn't the trunk Finn needed to reach. It was the point where his world and the tree's world met. The hidden foundation beneath the waterline, a spark ignited in Finn's weary mind. He wasn't strong enough to climb the bark, but he knew the water. He knew the currents. Could he explore that? Could he climb the tree from below? Summoning a final, desperate reserve of energy, Finn focused not on the distant branches, but on the cool water lapping tantalizingly close. With a mighty, mud-slicked heave, he twisted his body. Leveraging his tail against a small stone half buried nearby, he felt the mud reluctantly loosen its grip. One more agonizing wriggle, a frantic flop, and he tumbled back into the blessed, life-giving embrace of Willow Creek. The water rushed over his scales, cleansing the mud, soothing his burning gills. He drifted for a moment, weak but safe, breathing deeply. His gaze, however, wasn't on the surface now. It was fixed downward, towards the shadowy depths where the willow's mighty roots plunged into the riverbed like ancient pillars. The impossible dream hadn't died. It had simply changed direction. Days turned into weeks. Finn stopped gazing solely at the unreachable canopy. Instead, he became an explorer of the deep shadows where water met wood. He learned the intricate maze of the willow's submerged roots, navigating their twists and turns with newfound purpose. He discovered secret hollows where tiny fry hid from predators, smooth grooves worn by the current, and thick forests of water moss clinging to the ancient wood. One afternoon, he noticed a cluster of delicate insect eggs attached perilously to a root tip in a fast-flowing section. Remembering the fragile beauty of the leaves above, Finn acted. He darted back and forth, gently nudging the cluster with his nose, guiding it into a calmer, sheltered crevice between two massive roots where the current couldn't sweep it away. He had used his knowledge, his fish skills, to protect a small piece of life connected to his beloved tree. Word spread through Willow Creek about Finn. The root explorer minnows sought him to find the safest hiding spots among the tangled wood. A mother crayfish asked him to guide her young ones through a particularly confusing root cluster. He even showed Old Man Terrapin a sunbeam-warmed ledge on a broad root where the turtle could bask. Finn still loved the sight of the willow branches swaying against the sky, but now, when he looked up, he felt a deep connection, not frustration. He knew the tree's hidden heart, its underwater embrace. He hadn't climbed the bark, but he had found a way to touch the tree's life in a way no bird or squirrel ever could. He discovered his own unique strength, a fish's strength, and learned that sometimes the most profound way to reach for your dreams is to dive deeper into who you truly are and find where your world beautifully, surprisingly, connects with the impossible. And in the quiet depths, surrounded by the willow's strong, nurturing roots, Finn the little silver fish finally felt at peace. His impossible dream transformed into a wondrous reality all his own.